Good evening, everybody. Beautiful talks, isn't it? Very interesting. But you know what? The best always comes last. That's it. I hope you save some of your laughter for now, because we're gonna laugh quite a bit, I hope. And yes, I do have a weird accent, I get it. I'm basically an Italian born in the wrong place. Yes, I'm Argentinian, but with 3/4 of my family being Italian, I really feel like one being born in the wrong place. And you know what? I don't only have blood in my veins, I can say that I have some wine in there too. Which makes only obvious that I became a fermentation scientist. So people can come to me when they have fermentation problems, but also when they have yeast problems. But not those ones. So, yeast, unleashed. Turning water into wine, laughter into smiles, one fermentation at a time. And certainly, behaving much better than these ones. And speaking of minions, let's clarify. Not all creatures on Earth, yeast and minions included, were created equally under the sun. You might agree with me, some of them got the look, some of them got the brain, some of them didn't get any. And some, like me, just got a little bit of brain. But in that quest of finding the most despicable master to serve, yeast, and in particular one taxonomist called Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and I like calling it the fermentation superhero, and we will discuss in a few seconds why, yeast developed a very useful skill to learn how to ferment. And what is fermentation? Well, basically, guys, they eat sugar, they poop ethanol. That's pretty much it. There's some other bits and pieces in the middle, but let's keep that simple. And I'm pretty sure you got to see this little guy in action. Especially when this other little guy was around. Most of us became sourdough bakers at home, didn't we? Oh, we were receiving these ones by our doorstep to keep us happy and entertained. So, fermentation. Yeah, in nature, we would assume it just came up to kill, so yeast could kill their microbial enemies. But in reality, what it is about is just turning us into clowns, especially if we have too many drinks. And yes, we are in South Australia, so we cannot avoid speaking of wine, which some people call poetry in a bottle. Or should I say, in a silver bag. We are very sorry for all the other wine regions. Sorry, River, Hunter, Yarra, you're not by there yet. Keep working. We've got the best. So, tasty wine. Is that magic? No. I'm really sorry, guys, but it's not. It's the hard work of millions of tiny little creatures, hominids, which live in our vineyards. In fact, they are even on you right now, in the air we breathe. So, we have Saccharomyces, our fermentation superhero, but it's not the only one. We've got thousands of different species, and some of them are called Kazakhstania, some others are called Antennaspora, some others Torulaspora. Metniscovius, Pichius, Lechantius, and so on, and on, and on. Gosh, these names, these people might have been drunk. All those taxonomists I can assure you, were drunk when they were naming them. They just like complicating our lives, don't they? So, fermentation, as I said, it's basically just eating sugar and popping a whole lot of things, including ethanol. But that's not the only thing that we want in a fermentation. We also want glycerol, which will give our wine its body, so when we swirl it in our mouth, has that weight that we're looking for. But they can also break down some molecules and release all these lovely white peaches, white flowers, roses, or you name it, compounds called esters, or alpha-terpineol, which gives it the very citrusy smell, especially in Sauvignon Blanc, or beta-damasceno, which is also very flowery, or beautiful caramel notes with an acid called lactic acid. I wonder why. So, if we think of fermentation, we can think it as a bubble, as a fermentative bubble, where Saccharomyces and all its non-Saccharomyces friends left alive. So you could all have your beautiful wine or your beautiful beer at the end of a very long day at work. Cheers to that. And we can put them together when we are starting our ferments, or we can put them at different times. And actually, that timing will have an impact on all these lovely flavors that we can get. And then it's up to me and other fermentation scientists to figure out what the best combination is. So, Houston, we have a little bit of a problem here. We spoke that they are all over there in the vineyard, and we need them right here in the winery. How do they get there? We cannot put them on a paper plane, that's for sure. There's basically two ways of getting them in the winery. One of them is by running what we call a wild ferment. So we go harvest the grapes, crush them, and let them be. Whatever yeast is in there will do its trick. We don't do anything. Otherwise, we can go and get a commercial, especially selected strain that will do the job. And that's what most of the winemakers do every single day, every single vintage, as we speak. So, wine. It makes us all happy, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Or what, you name it. It can be pizza, it can be bread if you don't drink alcohol. All of these processes, fermentation. Yes? So, these little minions finally found their master. Humans. Thank you, everyone.